Okay guys, so in a recent build video we featured our RTX 2080, and during the testing and that we did actually notice there was a little bit of noise coming from one of the fans. Fortunately for us, the graphics card managed to survive all the way through our testing, and right at the end the fan actually stopped working. So in today's video we're going to see if we can fix it, or at least we're going to hope we can fix it. Well, that's the plan. Now, the graphics card that we're looking at today is our RTX 2080. It is from Zotac and it is the AMP Extreme Edition. Back when this was released, it would have been a very high-end model. It was fully loaded with cooling. It's got triple fan configuration. It's got loads of RGB. It looks fantastic in a system, and lots of people would have wanted one of these back when it was released. Not so much nowadays due to probably its lack of VRAM more than anything. It's only got 8 GB of VRAM, but I actually really like the look of this card. I wanted it in the collection, so just like all of the graphics cards that come into the studio, I want to keep it in pristine condition so we can't have a faulty fan on it. The fan that was in the middle here was actually making quite a bit of a noise. I think there is a little bit of noise on some of the others, but that was during our testing. Once it was loaded into a system, you got a bit of a noise from the actual fan once it's sped up, and unfortunately, or should I say fortunately for us, it managed to survive all of the testing, but right at the end the fan just suddenly wasn't working anymore. So we need to hook it up to a system to show you exactly what that means. Now, as we boot the system up, you'll see that only 2 of the fans are spinning. On boot up, all 3 fans should actually be spinning, but the middle one is just sitting there dormant. It's not actually doing anything at all. Sometimes on graphics cards fans will stop, and that's the technologies inside of them. Like the rear one here was working, now it's stopped because the graphics card doesn't need it. It's only going to be running the first one, and unfortunately for us, if it was the last one that wasn't actually working, we probably wouldn't see any issues at all, because this is just basically cooling just an extra piece of the heatsink inside, whereas the middle one and the front one are actually cooling directly over all of the components on the graphics card. This unfortunately would actually cause the graphics card, once it gets up to temperature, to start spinning really crazily on the other 2 fans, which makes it really loud. But before that, everything was really nice and quiet. So we've got it on the system. The fan's not spinning at the moment. We're going to run it up to temp and we're going to see exactly what's going on. Now, we've got a very basic Heaven benchmark running here, and the temperatures are starting to rise. We're at 44 degrees, 45 degrees. So the graphics card should kick in soon, or at least the fan should kick in. They generally don't kick in fully when the graphics cards are on low temperatures, but as soon as it gets high enough, we'll start to notice that hopefully the back one will actually kick in, but we'll still see that the middle one isn't actually spinning. After a bit of a lookup on Google, it kind of appears that the Zotac cards from this era do actually suffer from fan related issues. There's a lot of people out there with very noisy fans. They don't really seem to be able to fix things. Unfortunately, ours just died altogether, which is of course going to be an issue. I can't see any issues with any of the plugs. Everything seems to be plugged in fine. There doesn't seem to be any damaged wires, not from that I can see with the cooler on. So we're now at 58 degrees. Something should start kicking in soon. 59. So there we go. So at about 59 degrees, all 3 fans should have kicked in, but the middle one is actually not doing anything at all. There's just no resistance behind that fan, and as you can hear, it's really starting to get loud now because everything is trying to keep it cool, but the extra fans have to work overtime to be able to do it. So let's stop our test and take a quick look inside the card and see if there's any damage on the inside, and if not, it's probably going to be a job for a brand new fan. Now, even though this graphics card is huge and it looks like it's an over complex build, it's actually pretty simple to take the cooling solution off. All we need to do is just undo a couple of screws inside the plastic and it should lift straight off. We'll need a tiny little screwdriver to do this, and it appears that there's only 4 screws holding the whole kind of cooling unit on here. There's one there, there's one at the front here, and then there are 2 at the back here, and 1 near me again on the back. There isn't anything in the middle to be able to do this. They are tiny little screws, so make sure you don't lose them. You do not want to lose a screw on this, otherwise you're going to have a cooler that's flapping around. And then we should be able to lift it off. We do need to also unplug a few things on this card. The first one is this little cable at the back here. This actually controls the RGB. There doesn't seem to be any kind of damage on this. It looks perfectly fine. And then we just need to flip the card over just like that. As we can see from the inside of the card here, we do have the front fan, which is working perfectly fine. That's actually connected with a kind of dual connection or splitter that goes all the way down the front and into what I believe is the rear connection on here. So it's the black one. And then we've got a small fan here that just goes straight into the board. So we will need to unplug them as well. We'll unplug the rear fan first, the small one, and then we'll unplug the long one there. That is the card then completely disconnected. It's a little bit dusty, probably needs a repaste, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm not going to risk actually breaking anything else on it because I won't know if my fix actually worked, but we'll pop that over to the side there. This fan in the middle, like I said, was originally making quite a bit of noise when it was in the system, and you can definitely hear it if you actually spin it. You can hear a choo, choo, choo as it goes round. Probably can't hear that on the camera there, but it does have this slight grinding noise. So I'm assuming something has actually gone wrong inside that fan there, inside the bearing. The rear one is also not the quietest of fans. The front one seems perfectly fine, but like I say, when you look this up on Google, there seems to be lots of people having lots of different issues with these kind of things. So we're going to have to take all these fans out. I don't think I'm going to just replace the middle one. I have purchased some new replacement fans. They are a little bit different in terms of design because they have this extra kind of swoosh on the front here. Not the other ones are a little bit more plainer and a little more, well, they're black, but they're kind of like a non-shiny black. These ones are a little bit shiny. Actually, buying all three of them for the whole kit, it wasn't that expensive, but it also wasn't that cheap. So you've got to be careful when you do this. Make sure if you can, just buy the replacement fan. I've bought all three because it just seemed easier at the time, and I'll have them all matched. But apart from that, what we need to do now is remove the fans from the shroud itself, which is a simple case of 3 little screws inside the fan itself. Pop them out, pop the cabling out, and install the new ones in. So I've removed all the screws from the fans and they are pretty much ready to come out. This is the little connection, the splitter that is inside for the front 2 fans. That would probably actually be good. I can't see any kind of damage on it at all, so I'm going to keep that as a spare. The front fan as well seemed to work perfectly fine, so it's always good to keep that as a spare. And if I ever get a graphics card like this, or there's a few models that actually take the same fans, then obviously it would work for that one too. And if I get anybody out there that does struggle to find a replacement front fan for it or something, I'm also going to keep the rear fan, because even though it is a little bit noisy, it's not a grinding noise like it was on the other one. It's actually, it does have a slight little wobble on it too, so it might be good for a spare, but I probably won't use that one at all. But of course, the middle one here, there is no real damage on it or anything like that. And when you spin it, it's got quite a bit of a wobble on it. You can actually see the fan itself just wobbling back and forward like that. And it's got this grind as it goes round. So that one is going to go in the bin. To fit the new fans, it's just basically just the reverse order of what we've got before. We've got a fan for the rear that's just on its own, so we're just going to put that one through. This should all fit perfectly fine, and hopefully the graphics card looks a little bit cooler as well, with these little kind of swooshy fan with the nice black shininess on it. I don't really know, it doesn't really matter what color your fans are, I suppose, but we're going to put that one inside here. That one will need screwing down. And just while I was actually putting that fan in there, I realized that they actually come with more fins on them. If we just take a couple of fans from here and this one here, you can see that there are more fins on the kind of replacement fans. Hopefully that will work better. Maybe it will keep the system a little bit cooler. Maybe it's going to provide better cooling. I don't know, but it looks a little bit more funkier. It's going to look a little bit more plush. So we've obviously got to install the rest of these fans now. This one here with the even shorter cable that goes onto the splitter is going to go in the middle. That is the one that was failing before. So it's going to be nice to have that fan back. So we'll just install that one. And then of course, the front fan, which I will disconnect from the splitter again. We're going to use the new splitter. We're not going to kind of use the old one. It should be the same, I think. It's probably a little bit longer, but that one is obviously going to go at the front here. So we'll just screw those fans in, and then we'll start putting the cabling back together again. Okay, so after messing about with the cables for a little bit, I realized what a mistake I'd made. I'd actually installed the fan on the front and the back on the wrong way. They were actually swapped, so the cables wouldn't even reach. It confused me for a minute, but I've managed to sort it out now. Just basically took those fans back out, swapped them over, connected everything up, and hopefully this graphics card should now run. We've just got to get some power into it, and then we can hit the switch, and we should be able to see the fans boot up. Hopefully they don't actually just go full speed and I've broken the card completely, because if that's the case, then we'll probably either water cool the card, or I'll have a look for another cooler, or you can always just strap some Noctuas to it and see what happens. But let's hit the power button and see them all spin up. So every fan is now spinning up on boot up. That's a good sign. That's what we wanted to see. So everything is looking good. It's still very quiet. There's not much noise coming from it, even though they are running. which is nice again, because that means all of the fans are basically balanced. There's nothing wobbling or chewing in there or grinding, so that's pretty good. So let's get our test back up again and see what kind of temps we get. I still haven't actually changed the thermal paste on this or even cleaned the cooler, so it may run a little bit warmer than it should do, but as long as this all works, I'll go through that process again, and we're just going to make sure that we test the fans this time. Now, one thing that you could probably see from this now is that the front fan isn't always spinning, so there probably was an issue with that fan too. That was always spinning no matter what temperature the system was at, even when we're in the 30s. That's not supposed to happen, so I've only just noticed that while the card actually settled down. But with these new fans, and they've still got the Zotac logos on because I paid the extra for the logos, the card looks absolutely fantastic. It's currently running up to 47 degrees. Nothing's happening yet, but all fans should kick in probably around, again, 59 degrees, something like that. The card and the cooler itself is pretty big enough to keep this card cool enough until we get there. We're currently at 52 degrees. It's starting to climb a little bit. Let's just hope that all three fans actually do kick in. 53 degrees, 54 degrees. Things are starting to climb. 55, so it's nearly getting there. Hopefully 60, 57, 56, it's keeping itself cooler than it's expected. This is still a good sign to see because it means that the cooler is big enough to keep things nice and cool. But we've just hit 59 and 60 degrees and all three fans are starting to spin. They do have, like I say, some weird technology in them that will stop and start different fans when it needs them. The rear one should stop when it doesn't really need the fan. The middle one should probably always be running because that's directly over the die. And the front one should probably change speeds, but I don't think it should actually fully stop, although it did then, so it didn't really need the fan at that point. But overall, I think this is a perfectly good fix. All three fans are working now. Nothing is boosting up to full temperatures. We're currently at 65, 64 degrees. It's holding out pretty well. The fans are not fully spinning. They're just spinning just enough to keep it nice and cool. So I think overall, that is a complete fix, 100% fixed here. This is going to be really good for us going forward because we do want to actually properly test this graphics card now, and I'm sure actually putting some real decent heavy games against it is going to test that kind of cooler. But I'm reasonably impressed now with the card itself. It looks a little bit better because those fans just look a little bit more modern and streamlined, and of course having them all run is always a bonus. But let me know in the comments below if you've ever had to fix a graphics card like this and how did you do it. I know a lot of people out there will just strap Noctuas to them or anything like that. It's a real pain when the graphics cards like this, which are still very well used today, are just not really supported anymore. You can't really get spare parts for them. Everything's out of RMA, so you have to kind of hit your eBays, which is what I did for the fans here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, and if you want to see the RTX 2080 put against some of our latest and greatest games, because we're really going to put this card under pressure at some point. So we'll see what it can actually truly do in 2025 without no system hindrance or being held back by anything. And I'm sure, as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.